Question number 2 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 2 verse 14 mentions the manner.
Read 2.
Interruption.
Manner of what? Gentiles?
Time.
That is correct. Question number 3 is a quotation question worth 10 points. Question. Quote Galatians chapter 3 verse 27.
Yellow 1.
For as many of you as have been baptized into Christ have born of Christ.
That is incorrect. Question number 4 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 4 verse 25 states
Read 1.
Interruption.
In where? In Arabia?
That is incorrect, and this interrupted question will be reread to the yellow team without interruption. Ready question. Galatians chapter 4 verse 25 states, in bondage with whom?
Yellow 2.
Which now is and is in bondage with her children?
That is correct. Question number 5 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 4 verse 9 says, ye have...
Read 1.
Interruption.
Ye have known whom? Ye have known God?
That is correct.
Substitution, please.
Substitution. Question number 6 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 3 verse 24 says, justified.
Read 1.
Interruption.
Justify who? Justify the heathen?
That is incorrect, and this interrupted question will be reread to the yellow team without interruption. Ready question. Galatians chapter 3 verse 24 says, justified by what?
Yellow 3.
Justified by the faith?
That is correct. Test. Mount Vernon, 60 seconds.
Taking context.
Time.
Make sure everybody's awake. The contest will be denied. However, before one moment, we do also have to reverse the ruling for yellow 3. That ruling will be ruled as correct. After conferring with the judges on that, the ruling for yellow 3 will also be listed as incorrect. The contest, which does happen in Bible quizzing, you can deny a contest because the contest was something different. Timeout read 60 seconds.
Time.
All right, time has been called. Question number 7 is a 20-point question. Ready question. Locate this verse. As we said,
Red 3.
Interruption.
As we said before, so say I now again, if any man preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. Galatians chapter 1, verse 9.
that is incorrect, and this interrupted question will be reread to the yellow team without interruption. Question. Locate this verse. As we said before, so say I now again, if any man preach any other gospel unto you than that ye have received, let him be accursed.
Yellow 1.
Galatians chapter 1, verse 9.
That is correct. Question number 8 is a two-part question worth 20 points. Question. Galatians chapter 1 verse 13 mentions my conversation.
Yellow 1.
Interruption. Time.
That is incorrect, and this interrupted two-part question will be reread to the red team without interruption. Ready question. Galatians chapter 1 verse 13 mentions my conversation when, in what?
Red 2.
My conversation in time past in the Jews' religion.
That is correct.
Substitution.
Substitution.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 9 is a 20-point question. Ready question. I certify
Red 3.
Interruption.
Locate the verse of study to consider this information. Galatians chapter 1, verse 11.
That is correct. Question number 10 is a two-part question worth 20 points. Ready? Question. According to Galatians chapter 5, verse 14, what is...
Red 3.
Interruption.
Is what? For all the law is fulfilled in one word. Even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Time.
That is incorrect. And this interrupted two-part question will be reread to the yellow team without interruption. Question. According to Galatians chapter 5, verse 14, what is fulfilled in what?
Yellow 1.
For all the law is fulfilled in one word. Even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Time.
That is incorrect. Question number 11 is a quotation question worth 20 points. Question. Quote Galatians chapter 4, verse 5.
Red 1.
to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons.
That is correct. Time out. Yellow, 60 seconds.
Time.
Now time has been called. Question number 12 is a 20-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 5 verse 3 says,
Red 1.
Interruption.
I do what? I testify again to every man that is circumcised, that he is a debtor to do the whole law.
That is correct. Question number 13 is a quotation question worth 30 points. Question. Quote verse 6 of Galatians chapter 2.
Red 1.
But of these who seemed to be somewhat, whatsoever they were, it maketh no matter to me. God accepteth no man's person, for they who seemed to be somewhat in conference added nothing to me.
That is correct.
Contest.
Contest. Penville 2. 60 seconds.
Time. That contest will be denied. Timeout red, 60 seconds. Time.
Time has been called. Question number 14 is a two-part cross-reference question worth 30 points. Question. Galatians chapter 1 verse 8 refers to an angel from where? Galatians chapter 4 verse 14 refers to an angel from?
Yellow, 3.
Interruption.
Angel of whom? But though ye or an angel from heaven presented the gospel unto you, then that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. And my temptation, which was in my flesh, ye despised not, nor rejected, but received me as an angel of God, even as Christ Jesus.
Time.
That is correct. Question number 15 is a four-part question worth 30 points. Ready question. According to Galatians chapter 3 verse 20, who is not what?
Red, 3.
Interruption.
But who is what? But now a mediator is not a mediator of one, but God is one.
That is correct. Contest yellow, 60 seconds.
Time.
And this quiz is closed. Let's give both teams a hand. We have Newark on the red. We got Newark 1 on the red and Newark 2 on the yellow. Quiz are as follows. The second highest scoring team was Pencil. Let's give Pencil a hand. The highest scoring team was Mount Vernon. Let's give him a hand. The second highest scoring quizzer was Chaz with 40 points. Chaz a hand. And the highest scoring quizzer with 65 points was Isaiah. That's Isaiah. There you go, my friend. Congratulations. It's a comfortable chair, it's just that I'm better sitting. We are ready to begin this quiz between Newark 1 on the red and Newark 2 on the yellow. This is what we call randomized matrix building if this happens. But it could have also happened if you drew numbers. Alright, this quiz is open between Newark on the red and Newark on the yellow. So we know Newark will win this game. I just don't know which one. Or which two, correct. So I'm going to put Newark, this is who goes out in the next bracket. Alright. Please tell me you didn't reverse it on me though. You are Newark 1, correct? Okay, you are Newark 2. Okay, good. Because that would have just been cool.
Is that right, Mark? Newark 2 has 2. Mark Davis, you got a Monty on red 1?
No, it's different.
Boy, good thing I made a bad joke.
We didn't switch.
No, it is.
We can switch sides if that would help.
That'll work.
Would that work?
So, wait a
Wait
minute.
a second. Anybody does anything?
Alright, which is Newark 1?
We wanted Amani's name to be Newark 1. Kendall's name.
knows what he's doing, so we had to put him on number 2. Hey, buddy. You know I'm kidding, right?
This is why we have Martavis operating this. We know we're going.
Now your coach, I'm not sure she knows what she's doing. Either one. They wouldn't zero. Alright guys, now we can switch sides.
We'll be here all evening.
So when the Matrix, need you to make
You are here, Jasmine.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be here. And then Mommy. Yeah, there's yellow. That's red. Yellow 1, yellow 2, yellow 3. Coffee. Get coffee. I gotta change.
All right, so just a quick announcement, make sure everyone's on the same page. Everyone's matrices shows Newark 1 on the red, Newark 2 on the yellow, but it's actually reversed on the matrix. It should read Newark 2 on the red, Newark 1 on the yellow. It typically may or may not make that much of a difference, but it could make a difference playing further out. You need to get it right up front. Also, we are now live streaming, is that correct? Did I say that correctly? At www.newarkppc.org/live2. Okay. And it's the second video.
So we are still calling them Newark 1.
Yes, this is Newark 1, this is Newark 2. Which also messes up my rule book having to call when we have to test, but that's another question. Red, yellow. Yeah, no big deal. All right, this quiz is open between Newark 2 on the red and Newark 1 on the yellow. Question number 1 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 1 verse 13 mentions what?
Red 1. Interruption.
What of the Church of God?
Time.
That is incorrect. This interrupted question will be reread to the yellow team without interruption. Ready question. Galatians chapter 1 verse 13 mentions what of God?
Yellow 3.
The Church of God?
That is correct. Question number 2 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 1 verse 22 refers to the churches of where?
Red 2.
The churches of Judea which are in Christ.
That is correct. Question number 3 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 3 verse 11 mentions the sight of whom?
Red 1.
Sight of God.
That is correct. Question number 4 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 3 verse 21 mentions the promises of whom?
Yellow 3.
The promises of God.
That is correct. Question number 5 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 5 verse 19 mentions the works of what?
Red 2.
The works of the flesh.
That is correct. Question number 6 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Locate this verse. Let us not.
Red 1. Interruption.
Let us not be desirous of vain glory, provoking one another, envying one another. Galatians chapter 5, verse 26.
That is correct. Question number 7 is a 2-part question worth 20 points. Ready question. According to Galatians chapter 2, verse 21, I do not frustrate what? Why?
Yellow 1.
I do not frustrate the grace of God. If righteousness come by law, then Christ is dead in vain.
That is correct. Question number 8 is a quotation completion question worth 20 points. Question. But I certify.
Red 1. Interruption.
But I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached of me is not after man.
That is correct. Question number 9 is a 20-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 4 verse 14 says, receive me how?
Red 1.
Received me as an angel of God, even as Christ Jesus.
That is correct. Question number 10 is a 20-point question. Ready question. Dissimulation.
Red 2. Interruption.
Locate the verse of study that contains this word. Galatians 2 verse 13.
That is correct. Question number 11 is a 2-part question worth 20 points. Ready question. As recorded in Galatians chapter 3 verse 12, what is not of what?
Yellow 3.
And the law is not of faith, but the man that doeth them shall live in them.
That is correct. Question number 13 is a 20-point question. Ready question. Locate this verse. For
Red 1. Interruption.
For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. Galatians chapter 6, verse 8.
That is incorrect, and this interrupted question will be reread to the yellow team without interruption. Ready question. Locate this verse. For he that wrought effectually in Peter to the apostleship of the circumcision, the same was mighty in me toward the Gentiles.
Yellow 3.
Galatians 2, verse 8.
That is correct. Question number 13 is a 3-part question worth 30 points. Ready question. According to Galatians chapter 5 verse 13, ye have been called unto what? Only use not what for an occasion to what?
Red 1.
For ye have been called unto liberty, only use not liberty for provocation to the flesh, but by love serve one another.
That is correct. Question number 14 is a quotation question worth 30 points. Ready question. Quote Galatians chapter 3, verse 17.
Red 1.
And this I say, that the covenant that was confirmed before of God in Christ, the law which was 430 years after, cannot disannul, that it should make the promise of none effect.
That is correct. Time out yellow, 60 seconds.
That's 6 for Kindle.
And that's 6 correct for Kendall. Let's give Kendall a hand.
Time.
The time has been called. Question number 15 is a two-part cross-reference question worth 30 points. Ready question. Galatians chapter 4 verse 25 mentions her what? And Galatians chapter 4 verse 30 mentions her what?
Red 2.
Her children and her son.
That is correct. And this quiz is closed. Let's give both teams a hand. As a result of the prayer, we can have Ivy Grace on the red and East Hartford, Connecticut on the yellow team.
Way to go, guys. I'm proud
Ivy
of
Grace
you.
on the red.
That was awesome. Haley, awesome. You did great. Kendall, get over here. That was good. You did great. Coaches did all right.
It's not hard, is it? Not when you got those two spins on.
All right, the results of the preceding quiz are as follows. The second highest scoring team was Newark, and the highest scoring team was Newark. Give both teams a hand. The second highest scoring quizzer was Kaylee with 70 points. Give Kaylee a hand. And the highest scoring quizzer with 115 points was Kendall. So Kendall a hand. You're welcome. Okay. Yeah, you're at the right.
Yellow 2.
Yellow one,
Alyssa.
Alyssa? We went through have it right. Person in.
Aisha. Sorry, Isabella.
All right. We can have a coach to help out with judging.
Isabella did not get to make that trip.
Another judge to help us out. This quiz is open. Have the grades on the red. Starboard on the yellow. Okay? Okay, good. All right, we can quiet down for our quizzers. Thank you so much. This quiz is now open. Question number 1 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 1 verse 6 mentions another what?
Red 1.
Gospel.
That is correct. Question number 2 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 1 verse 1 calls Paul what?
Yellow 1.
An apostle.
That is correct. Question number 3 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 5 verse 11 states, then is what ceased?
Time.
Question number 4 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 4 verse 14 says, even as whom?
Time.
Question number 5 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 3 verse 9 refers to they which be of what?
Time.
Question number 6 is a quotation completion question worth 10 points. Question: we who are Jews.
Time.
Question number 7 is a two-part question worth 20 points. Ready? Question. As according to Galatians chapter 1 verse 10, if I yet did what, I should not be what?
Yellow, 1.
For do I not persuade men or God, how do I seek to please men? For if I have pleased men, I should not be the servant of Christ.
That is correct. Question number 8 is a quotation question worth 20 points. Ready? Question. Quote Galatians chapter 2 verse 1.
Red, 2.
Paul, and all brethren which are with me unto the churches of Galatia.
That is incorrect. And this quotation question was not interrupted. All right. Question number 9 is a two-part question worth 20 points. Ready? Question. According to Galatians chapter 2 verse 13, the other Jews did what, insomuch that Barnabas also was what?
Yellow, 1.
And the other Jews assembled likewise with him, insomuch that Barnabas also was carried away with their dissimulation.
Time.
That is incorrect. Question number 10 is a quotation question worth 20 points. Ready? Question. Quote Galatians chapter 1 verse 8.
Red, 1.
That is incorrect. Question number 11 is a 20-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 5 verse 1 states, stand fast therefore in what?
Yellow, 1.
For liberty, wherewith Christ hath made us free.
That is correct. Question number 12 is a 20-point question. Ready question. Gentleness. Locate the only verse of study that contains this word.
Time.
Time out red. 60 seconds. I'm like plastic. That's what we're small. Oh, plastic. You know, there's no reason. I get it twisted. Stolen. Yeah, Kirby stole that one.
Time.
Time has been called. Question number 13 is a three-part question worth 30 points. Ready question. Galatians chapter 1 verse 7 speaks of who that do what and would do what.
Red, 1.
But there be some that shall be able to convert the gospel of Christ.
That is correct. Question number 14 is a quotation question. Ready question. Quote verse 4 of Galatians chapter 2.
Time.
Question number 15 is a two-part cross-reference question worth 30 points. Ready question. The hearing of faith. How many verses of study contain this phrase, and what are these verses?
Time.
And this quiz is closed. Let's give both teams a hand. And while we're tabulating everything, if we could have Zanesville, Ohio take their place on the red, and Colonial Heights, Virginia take their place on the yellow. Are as follows. The second highest scoring team was Average Grace. Let's give them a hand. Highest scoring team was Arthur. Let's give them a hand. The second highest scoring quizzer was Isabella with 30 points. Let's give Isabella a hand. And the highest scoring quizzer was Alyssa with 40 points. Let's give Alyssa a hand. Zanesville, Ohio on the red, and Colonial Heights, Virginia on the yellow. All right, if I can have another coach to help officiate in the judging. We'll have a momentary pause.
Hey, how are you?
My scorekeeper decided to vacate the position. All right. We have our teams ready. Everybody on where they need to be. All right. This quiz is open between Zanesville on the red and Colonial Heights, Virginia on the yellow. Question number 1 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 1 verse 2 mentions who?
Red, 1.
Interruption.
Unto the churches of Galatia, brethren, would you like me? Unto the churches of Galatia, all the brethren.
That is correct.
Time.
Question number 2 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Locate this verse. Have ye suffered?
Red, 2.
Interruption.
Have ye suffered so many things in vain, if it be yet in vain? Galatians chapter 3, verse 4.
Have you? You are correct. That is correct. Well, I tell you what, the quizzers, they're all intense.
It's just your demeanor.
Question number 3 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 4 verse 24 speaks of two what?
Red, 2.
Sons. Covenant.
That is incorrect. Question number 4 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 4 verse 28 mentions who?
Red, 2.
Interruption.
Who were the children of promise, and we were then as Isaac was?
Time.
That is incorrect. And this interrupted question will be reread to the yellow team without interruption. Ready? Question. Galatians chapter 4, verse 28 mentions who of promise?
Yellow, 1.
Children.
That is correct. To test, red, 60 seconds.
Time.
Point of order. It's hard to use now. I don't know the running and if the kids were running. Point of order.
All right. The test has been withdrawn. And if we could have, just making sure everyone that, I will do my best to try to speak more into the microphone. And that way so it's louder for everyone to hear. Is that better? All right. Question number 5 is a 10-point question. Ready? Question. Galatians chapter 1 verse 14 refers to the Jews what?
Red, 2.
Religion.
That is correct. Question number 6 is a 10-point question. Question. According to Galatians chapter 1 verse 13, I persecuted what?
Red, 2.
The Church of God.
That is correct. Question number 7 is a quote, is a 20-point quote is a replaceable question. I figured you've done this enough time to get it right. Let's go to quiz number 30. And what we're going to go with, we're going to go Replacement question number 7 is a quotation question worth 20 points. Ready? Question. Quote Galatians chapter 3, verse 2.
Red, 1.
This only what I learned of you, received ye the Spirit by the works of the law or by the hearing of faith?
That is correct. Question number 8 is a 20-point question. Ready? Question. Galatians chapter 5 verse 12 says, I would what?
Red, 1.
I would they were even cut off which trouble you?
That is correct. Question number 9 is a 20-point question. Ready? Question. Locate this verse.
Red, 1.
Interruption.
Who gave himself for our sins that he might deliver us from this present evil world according to the will of God and our Father? Galatians chapter 1 verse 4.
That is correct. Question number 10 is a 2-part question worth 20 points. Question. Galatians chapter 3 verse 27 records, as many of you as have been baptized.
Yellow, 1.
Interruption.
Into Christ have put on what? For as many of you as have been baptized into Christ have put on Christ.
That is incorrect. This two-part question will be reread to the red team without interruption. Ready question. Galatians chapter 3 verse 27 records, as many of you as have been baptized into whom have put on whom.
Red, 1.
As many of you as have been baptized into Christ have put on Christ.
That is correct. Time out red, 60 seconds.
Time.
Time has been called. Question number 11 is a 20-point question. Ready question. 11. Locate.
Red, 2.
Interruption.
Locate the only verse of study that contains this information. A little leaven, leaveneth the whole lump. Galatians chapter 5 verse 9.
That is correct. Question number 12 is a two-part question worth 20 points. Ready question. According to Galatians chapter 4 verse 23, who was born after the flesh?
Red, 2.
Interruption.
Who was by promise? The son of the bondwoman was born after the...
That is incorrect, and this interrupted question will be reread to the yellow team without interruptions. Two-part question. Ready question. According to Galatians chapter 4 verse 23, who was born after the flesh, but who was born by promise?
Yellow, 1.
He who was of a bondwoman was born after the flesh, but he who was of a free woman was by promise.
That is correct. Question number 13 is a quotation completion question worth 30 points. Ready question. Knowing that...
Red, 2.
Interruption.
Knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Jesus Christ. Even we have believed in Jesus Christ, that we might be justified by the faith of Christ, and not by the works of the law, for by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified.
That is correct. Question number 14 is a three-part question worth 30 points. Ready? Question. According to Galatians chapter 1 verse 23, he which did what, in what, now does what?
Red, 1.
But they uttered only that he which persecuted us in times past, now preacheth the faith which he destroyed.
That is correct.
That's 6 for Eden.
That's 6 correct for Eden. Let's give her a hand. Question number 15 is a 2-part cross-reference question worth 30 points. Ready, question. Two-part cross-reference question worth 30 points. Ready, question. Face. How many verses of study contain this word, and what are these verses?
Red, 2.
There are 2, and they are Galatians 1:22 and Galatians 2:11.
That is correct.
And that's 6 for Jillian.
That's 6 correct for Jillian. While we're going through the results, we would like to have Mount Vernon take their place on the red, and Yorktown Heights take their place on the yellow. Results of the preceding quiz are as follows. The second highest scoring team was Colonial Heights. Let's give them a hand. The highest scoring team was Indigo, Ohio. Let's give them a hand. The second highest scoring individual is Jillian with 100 points. Let's give Jillian a hand. The highest scoring quiz with 130 points was Eden. Let's give Eden a hand.
Just a quick announcement. Ladies, the ladies' room here, out of order. Please, you're going to have to walk down the hall and to the right to the ladies' room by the tank where the food is served. Do not use the ladies' room here unless you want wet shoes.
Elizabeth? Elizabeth? Thank you. Okay, you can see
down height. Is that correct? Broke down heights? On the yellow. Okay. Good. Make sure I got the red listing there. And this quiz is open. Question number 1 is a 10-point question. Ready? Question. What does Galatians chapter 1 verse 3 say?
Red 1.
Interruption.
BTU, grace. BTU. And peace from God the Father.
That is correct. Question number 2 is a 10-point question. Ready? Question. Galatians chapter 3 verse 27 says,
Red 2.
Interruption.
Have been baptized into whom? Into Christ?
That is incorrect, and this interrupted question will be reread to the yellow team without interruption. Question. Galatians chapter 3 verse 27 says, have put on whom?
Yellow 2.
Christ?
That is correct. Question number 3 is a 10-point question. Ready? Question. Who, according to Galatians chapter 5 verse 24, have...
Red 1.
Interruption.
Have crucified the flesh, they that are Christ's?
That is correct. Question number 4 is a 10-point question. Ready? Question. Locate this verse. For I through...
Yellow 2.
Interruption.
For I through the law am dead to the law, that I might live unto God. Galatians chapter 2 verse 19.
That is correct. Question number 5 is a 10-point question. Ready? Question. Galatians chapter 1 verse 18 says,
Red 3.
Interruption.
What's where? Jerusalem? To see Peter?
Time.
That is correct. Question number 6 is a 10-point question. Ready? Question. According to Galatians chapter 2 verse 1.
Yellow 2.
Interruption.
Time.
That is incorrect, and this interrupted question will be reread to the red team without interruption. Question. According to Galatians chapter 2 verse 1, I went up again to where?
Red 3.
To Jerusalem?
That is correct. Question number 7 is a 2-part 20-point question. Ready? Question. Galatians chapter 3 verse 3 asks, are ye...
Red 2.
Interruption.
Are ye so what, having begun in what? Are ye so foolish, having begun in the Spirit?
That will be a 5-point foul assessed to yellow 1. Red 2 was identified. So the question will be reread to the point of interruption to red 2. At that moment, you have 30 seconds to complete the motion. Two-part question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 3, verse 3 asks, are ye... Go ahead.
Are ye so what? Having begun in what? Are ye so foolish, having begun in the flesh?
That is incorrect. And this interrupted question will be reread to the yellow team without interruption. Ready question. Galatians chapter 3, verse 3 asks, are ye now made what by what?
Yellow 2.
Are ye now made perfect by the flesh?
That is correct. Timeout yellow, 60 seconds. That's all it's going to take. Time has been called. Question number 8 is a 20-point question. Ready question. Locate this verse. For in Jesus...
Yellow 1. Interruption.
For in Jesus Christ neither circumcision availeth anything, nor uncircumcision, but faith which worketh by love. Galatians 5, verse 6.
That is correct. Question number 9 is a 2-part question worth 20 points. Ready question. According to Galatians chapter 2, verse 5...
Yellow 1. Interruption.
We gave place by what? No, not for what? We gave place by subjection. No, not for an hour.
That is incorrect, and this interrupted 2-part question will be reread to the red team without interruption. Ready question. According to Galatians chapter 2, verse 5, we gave what by what?
Red 2.
We gave place by subjection.
That is correct. Question number 10 is a 20-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 1, verse 16 records...
Yellow 1. Interruption.
Reveal his Son in me. Why? That I might preach him among the heathen?
That is correct. Question number 11 is a quotation completion question worth 20 points. Question. I marvel...
Yellow 1. Interruption.
I marvel that ye are so soon removed from him that called you into the grace of Christ unto another gospel.
That is correct. Question number 12 is a 20-point question. Ready question. According to Galatians chapter 2, verse 6, who...
Yellow 1. Interruption.
Who... added nothing to me? For they who seemed to be somewhat in conference added nothing to me?
That is correct. Timeout red, 60 seconds. You have to come back to that one.
Time.
Time has been called. Question number 13 is a four-part question worth 30 points. Ready? Question. When does Galatians chapter 2 verse 14 say, I said unto who?
Red 3.
Interruption.
If thou be what? Why compellest thou who to live as the Jews?
Time.
That is incorrect, and this interrupted four-part question will be reread to the yellow team without interruption. Ready? Question. When does Galatians chapter 2 verse 14 say, I said unto who, before whom, what?
Yellow 1.
But when I saw that they walked not uprightly according to the truth of the gospel, I said unto Peter before them all, If thou being a Jew livest after the manner of Gentiles, and not as do the Jews, why compellest thou the Gentiles to live as do the Jews?
That is correct. And we still don't have an answer as to why. But anyway. All right, question number 14. Question number 14 is a quotation question worth 30 points. Ready? Question. Spy.
Red 2.
Interruption.
Quote the verse of study that contains this information. And that because of false brethren unawares brought in who came in privily to spy out our liberty, which we have in Christ Jesus, that they might bring us into bondage.
That is correct. Question number 15 is a two-part cross-reference question worth 30 points. Ready? Question. Agar. How many?
Red 3.
Interruption.
How many verses contain this information, and what are they? Galatians chapter 4 verse 25 and Galatians chapter
Time.
That is incorrect, and this interrupted two-part cross-reference question will be reread to the yellow team without interruption. Ready? Question. Agar. How many verses of study contain this word, and what are these verses?
Time.
Is it going off at all? Okay. We're going, yeah, you can clearly see that you're doing it.
Yeah, it throws up on.
Okay. It is a reread, so if you're going for it, it is a reread. 30 seconds starts now.
Two verses, Galatians 4 verse 24 and Galatians 4 verse 25.
Yes.
That's a 6 for us.
And that is correct. And that is your sixth correct question. Let's give her a hand. This case is closed, and we will have the results momentarily. Have Newark 2 on the red and Boston on the yellow. shooting quizzes are as follows. The second highest scoring team is Mount Vernon. Let's give them a hand. And the highest scoring team is Georgetown Heights. Let's give them a hand. The second highest scoring quizzer, we have a tie, 35 points apiece, with Jemiah and Joel. Let's give both of them a hand. And the highest scoring quizzer with 135 points was Elizabeth. Let's give Elizabeth a hand. Congratulations, sir. And Jemiah, congratulations. And Elizabeth, congratulations. Yeah, we got everybody ready there for you?
That's Danny.
Alright. Did we lose it? Yes? What happened? That's not the one you can do that one. That's the one I want to be a part of. All right. Officials are ready. Everyone is ready. We have UR2 on the red and Boston on the yellow. This quiz is now open. Question number 1 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 5 verse 25 says, if we live in what?
Red 2.
If we live in the Spirit.
That is correct. Question number 2 is a quotation question worth 10 points. Ready question. Quote Galatians chapter 4 verse 21.
Red 1.
Tell me ye that desire to be under the law, do ye not hear the law?
That is correct. Question number 3 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 5 verse 1 refers to what of bondage?
Red 1.
Was the yoke of bondage?
That is correct. Can we have it quiet in the auditorium for our quizzers, please? Thank you. Question number 4 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 5 verse 6 mentions what which worketh by love?
Red 2.
But faith which worketh by love.
That is correct. Question number 5 is a 10-point question. Ready question. According to Galatians chapter 2 verse 18, I make myself what?
Yellow 2.
That is correct. Question number 6 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 3 verse 23 says, before what came?
Yellow 2.
That is correct. Question number 7 is it...
Time out.
Time out. Yellow 60 seconds.
Substitution.
Okay, hold on. Are you doing a timeout or a substitution timeout? A substitution timeout. Okay. So you're just swapping quizzers. Okay.
Dawn.
Okay. Let's take it up. Hold on. Okay. I want to make sure we have it clear for our story. You're just swapping quizzers. You're not looking to talk to your quizzers, correct? Okay. Just substitution timeout. Okay. Yeah, I think you just. Now let me do it. want a situation in which, oh, you can't take another time out. Happens. Going into 7. Number 6? Number 6 was yellow too.
This is Danny.
We're good now? We're good? Awesome. Okay, question number 7 is a two-part question worth 20 points. Ready question. Who, according to Galatians chapter 5, verse 21, shall not inherit what?
Red, 1.
Envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God.
That is correct. Question number 8 is a quotation completion question worth 20 points. Question. This I...
Red, 1.
Interruption.
This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lusts of the flesh.
That is incorrect, and this interrupted quotation completion question will be reread to the yellow team without interruption. Ready? Question. This I say then.
Time.
Question number 9. Question number 9 is a two-part question worth 20 points. Ready? Question. Galatians chapter 1 verse 2 says, who unto whom?
Red, 2.
And all the brethren which are with me unto the judges of Galatia.
That is correct. Question number 10 is a 20-point question. Ready? Question. Testify.
Red, 1.
Interruption.
Locate the only verse of our study that contains this information. Galatians chapter 5, verse 2.
That is incorrect, and this interrupted question will be reread to the yellow team without interruption. Ready? Question. Testify. Locate the only verse of study that contains this word.
Yellow, 1.
Galatians chapter 5, verse 3.
That is correct. Question. Timeout yellow, timeout red, 60 seconds.
Time.
All right, time has been called. Question number 11 is a 20-point question. Ready? Question. Galatians chapter 4 verse 9 asks, how turn ye again to what?
Red, 2.
How turn ye again to the weak and beggarly elements whereunto ye desire again to be in bondage?
That is correct. Question number 12 is a 20-point question. Ready question. Locate this verse. But that no man...
Red 1.
Interruption.
But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of God, it is evident, for the just shall live by faith. Galatians chapter 3, verse 11.
Time.
That is correct.
Timeout.
Timeout yellow, 60 seconds.
Time.
Time has been called. Question number 13 is a three-part question worth 30 points. Ready? Question. Who, as recorded in Galatians chapter 3, verse 13, hath redeemed us from what? Being made what?
Red 2.
Christ hath redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us, for it is written, cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree.
That is correct. Question number 14 is a two-part cross-reference question worth 30 points. Ready? Question. Galatians chapter 1, verse 8 says, let him be what? And Galatians chapter 1, verse 9 says, let him be what?
Red 2.
Let him be a curse, and let him be a curse.
That is correct.
That's 6 for Kaylee.
That's 6 correct for Kaylee. Let's give her a hand. And question number 15 is a quotation question worth 30 points. Ready? Question. Quote Galatians chapter 4, verse 30.
Red 1.
Nevertheless, what saith the Scripture? Cast out the bondwoman and her son, for the son of the bondwoman shall not be heir with the son of the free woman.
That is correct. And this quiz is closed. East Hartford on the red and Lancaster on the yellow sleeves.
Watch this.
I'm going to need another judge. Alright, the results of the preceding quiz are as follows. The second highest scoring team was Boston. Let's give Boston a hand. The highest scoring team was Newark. Let's give them a hand. The second highest scoring quizzer with 70 points is Kendall. Let's give Kendall a hand. And the highest scoring quizzer with 130 points is Kaylee. Let's give Kaylee a hand.
Yeah, this is the one, so yeah, right after this. We're moving right along. That's what we should. Try not to
All right, I would need another assistant at the judge's table, or another judge, rather, at the judge's table. If someone would like to participate. It's always the quizzers that want to participate. You got a quiz. I don't think your coach would like that. All right, good. All right. Are you ready? David, ready? I'm not ready. All right. Anyway. I was going to say something, but I just wanted to. All right, this quiz is open between Hartford and Lancaster. Question number 1 is a 10-point question. Ready question. According to Galatians chapter 5, verse 9, what leaveneth?
Yellow, 1.
Interruption.
The whole lump, a little leaven.
That is correct. Question number 2 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 2, verse 11 records Peter.
Yellow, 2.
Interruption.
Coming where? The Antioch?
That is correct. Question number 3 is a 10-point question. Ready question. According to Galatians chapter 3, verse 11, who is justified?
Yellow, 2.
Interruption.
By faith. Peter?
That is incorrect, and this interrupted question will be reread to the red team without interruption. Question. According to Galatians chapter 3, verse 11, who is justified by the law?
Time.
Question number 4 is a 10-point question. Ready question. To whom does Galatians chapter 4, verse 12 say, I beseech you?
Yellow, 1.
Brethren?
That is correct. Question number 5 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 2, verse 14 refers to the truth of what?
Yellow, 1.
The truth of the gospel?
That is correct. Question number 6 is a quotation question worth 10 points. Ready question. Quote Galatians chapter 2, verse 19.
Yellow, 2.
For I through the law am dead to the law, I might live unto God.
That is incorrect. Question number 7 is a 2-part 20-point question. Ready question. When does Galatians chapter 1 verse 16 say, I conferred not with whom?
Yellow, 1.
Immediately I confer not with flesh and blood.
That is correct. Timeout, red, 60 seconds.
Time.
Time has been called. Question number 8 is a 20-point question. Ready question. Locate this verse. But the scripture...
Yellow, 3.
Interruption.
But the scripture foreseeing that God would justify the heathen through faith, preached before the gospel unto Abraham, saying, "In thee shall all nations be blessed." Galatians 3:8.
That is incorrect, and this interrupted question will be reread to the red team without interruption. Ready question. Locate this verse. But the scripture hath concluded all under sin, that the promise by faith of Jesus Christ might be given to them that believe.
Time.
Question number 9 is a 2-part question worth 20 points. Ready question. According to Galatians chapter 4, verse 23, he who was of the bondwoman was what? But he of the free woman was what?
Yellow, 1.
He of the bondwoman was born after the flesh, but he of the free man was by promise.
That is correct. Question number 10 is a 20-point question worth 20 points. Ready question. Galatians chapter 2 verse 4 says, to spy out...
Yellow, 1.
Interruption.
Our liberty which we have in Christ Jesus.
That is correct. Question number 11 is a quote. 6 for 8. That's 6 correct for 8. Let's give her a hand. We are going to have to void and replace question number 10 due to Quizmaster error. Get them all out today. So yellow 1 has not officially quizzed out. So she would have to, yellow 1 will have to come back into the game. And we are going to go to quiz number 30. And well, let me see which one that would be. Let's go with question. Let's go with number 9. All right. Replacement question number 9. Go get yourself ready for your quiz. Is a 20-point question. I'm sorry, replacement question number 10. What am I saying? Replacement question number 10. I apologize. Is a 20-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 4 verse 1 says, now I say...
Yellow, 2.
Interruption.
What? Now I say that the heir, as long as he's a child, differeth nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all.
That is correct. Time out yellow, 60 seconds.
Time.
All right, time has been called. Question number 11 is a quotation question worth 20 points. Ready question. Quote verse 14 of Galatians chapter 5.
Yellow, 3.
For all the laws fulfilled in one word, even in this thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
That's correct. That is correct. Question number 12 is a 20-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 1 verse 22 states, was unknown by faith.
Yellow, 2.
Interruption.
Unto what? The churches of Judea, which were in Christ.
That is correct. Time out yellow, 60 seconds.
Time.
Time out, please.
Time out, red, 60 seconds. Time out, red, 60 seconds.
I don't even think they're in the state.
Time.
All right, time has been called. Question number 13 is a cross-reference quotation question worth 30 points. Question. Quote verses 20 and 21 of Galatians chapter 4.
Yellow, 1.
I desire to be present with you now and to change my voice, for I stand in doubt of you. Tell me, ye that desire to be under the law, do ye not hear the law?
That is correct. And that is 6 correct this time?
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, that's, yes, no.
That is 6 correct. Well, thankfully she can hear it. All right. Question number 14 is a 2-part cross-reference question worth 30 points. Ready? Question. How many verses of study contain the word crucified, and what are these verses?
Red, 1.
Galatians chapter 2, verse 20.
Time.
That is incorrect. Question number 15 is a 3-part question worth 30 points. Ready? Question. Galatians chapter 4 verse 24 says, "The one from where, which gendereth to what, which is whom?"
Time.
And this quiz is closed. Both teams in hand. We have Zanesville, Ohio on the red and Yorktown Heights on the yellow. Alright, the results of this preceding quiz are as follows. The second highest scoring team was East Hartford. Let's give them a hand. And the highest scoring team was Lancaster. Let's give them a hand. The second highest scoring quizzer with 40 points was Jordan. Let's give Jordan a hand. And the highest scoring quizzer with 110 points was Ava. Let's give Ava a hand. Quizzers, just keep an eye out for, please don't jump off the stage, because you're going to get hurt. And we don't need to call an ambulance out if you got a busted leg. So please, be safe. Thank you. Adults, don't jump off this platform either. Bones don't heal as well. And your britches might not last. That's being recorded on live. Did he actually make it? Did he land one with you? He jumped on that. On the red and Yorktown Heights on the yellow. This quiz is open. Question number 1 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 3 verse 7 mentions the children.
Red 2.
Interruption.
Children of who? Abraham?
That is correct. Question number 2 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 4 verse 10 says, ye.
Yellow 2.
Interruption.
Observe what? Days?
That would be a 5-point foul assessed to red 1, yellow 2 as identified. So the question will be reread to the point of interruption to yellow 2. And then you will have 30 seconds to complete your answer. Okay? Reread to yellow 2 only. Galatians chapter 4 verse 10 says, ye. Go ahead.
Did what? Service unto them which by nature are no gods.
That is incorrect. And this interrupted question will be reread to the red team without interruption. Question. Galatians chapter 4 verse 10 says, ye observe what?
Red 2.
Days and months and times and years.
That is correct. Time out yellow 60 seconds.
Time.
All right, time has been called. Question number 3 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Locate this verse. For if
Red 1.
Interruption.
For if I build again the things which I destroyed, I make myself a transgressor. Galatians chapter 2 verse 18.
that is correct. Question number 4 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 2 verse 2 mentions what?
Red 2.
Interruption.
What, in vain? Run or how to run in vain?
That is incorrect, and this interrupted question will be reread to the yellow team without interruption. Question. Galatians chapter 2 verse 2 mentions, "What which I preach among the Gentiles?"
Yellow 2.
Gospel?
That is correct. Question number 5 is a 10-point question. Question. According to Galatians chapter 2 verse 6, who accepted...
Red 2.
Interruption.
Who accepted no man's person? God?
That is correct. Question number 6 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 1 verse 8 mentions what from heaven?
Red 2.
Angels from heaven? But though we or angels from heaven?
Time.
That is incorrect. Question number 7 is a 2-part 20-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 3 verse 27 states, who...
Yellow 1.
Interruption.
Who have put on who? For as many of you as have been baptized into Christ have put on Christ.
That is correct. Question number 8 is a 20-point question. Ready question. Locate this verse. Only they...
Red 1.
Interruption.
Only they would, that we should, remember the poor, the same which I also was for to do. Galatians chapter 2, verse 10.
That is correct. Question number 9 is a 20-point question. Ready question. When does Galatians chapter 2 verse 9 say...
Red 1.
Interruption.
They gave to me and Barnabas their hands of fellowship, and when James, Cephas, and John, who seemed to be pillars, perceived the grace that was given unto me.
That is correct. Question number 10 is a quotation question worth 20 points. Question. Quote verse 29 of Galatians chapter 4.
Red 1.
But as then he that was born after the flesh persecuted him that was born after the spirit.
Time.
That is incorrect. Question number 11 is a 20-point question. Ready question. According to Galatians chapter 1 verse 18.
Yellow 1.
Interruption.
Then after 3 years, I went up to Jerusalem to see Peter and abode with him how long? 15 days?
That is incorrect, and this interrupted question will be reread excuse me, to the red team without interruption. Question. According to Galatians chapter 1, verse 18, I went up to Jerusalem. Why?
Red, 1.
To see Peter and abode with him 15 days.
That is correct. Question.
Timeout.
Timeout, yellow, 60 seconds.
Time.
Time has been called. Question number 12 is a two-part question worth 20 points. Question. Galatians chapter 4, verse 21 asks...
Yellow, 1.
Interruption.
Asks, who, what? Ye that desire to be under the law, do ye not hear the law?
That is incorrect, and this interrupted two-part question will be reread to the red team without interruption. Question. Galatians chapter 4, verse 21 asks, Ye that desire what? Do ye not hear what?
Red, 1.
Ye that desire to be under the law, do ye not hear the law?
That is correct.
Timeout.
Timeout, red, 60 seconds.
Time.
Time has been called. Question number 13 is a two-part cross-reference question worth 30 points. Ready question. Titus.
Yellow, 1.
Interruption.
How many verses of study contain this information and what are they? 2 verses, Galatians 2 verse 1, Galatians 2 verse 3.
That is correct. Question number 14 is a quotation question worth 30 points. Question. Quote the only verse of study that contains the phrase book.
Yellow, 1.
Interruption.
Book of the law. For as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse, for it is written, Cursed is everyone that continueth not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them.
That is correct.
Contest, please.
Contest, red, 1, 60 seconds.
withdrawn and timeout.
Timeout read. Contest withdrawn, timeout read. 60 seconds.
Time.
Call. Question number 15 is a 4-part question worth 30 points. Ready question. Who, according to Galatians chapter 4, verse 1, has long...
Yellow, 1.
Interruption.
As long as he is what differeth nothing from what, though he be what? Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differeth nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all?
That is correct. And this quiz is tied. Well. Hoo-da. All right. So we have our first tied quiz of the tournament. One of the first ones I've had in a while. So what we are going to do then, you will then each receive each team receives an additional timeout, and we will do 3 20-point questions. Each question will be worth 20 points. And if the game is still tied after the 3 20-point questions, then it will be sudden death. That sounds so permanent, by the way. Sudden death. Kind of spooky. All right, let's see here. Let's go with quiz 30. I like questions 7. Well, you know what? Let me look at quiz 29. Let me look at that. I do like the questions 7, 11, 12. Let's actually do the quiz 29, and we'll go with questions number 8. We'll do question number 12, and we will go to question number 9, so we'll 8, 9, and 12. Okay. They're all 20 pointers. All right. Overtime questions. Again, 3 20-point questions. Each team gets an additional timeout. Overtime question number 1, or rather question number 16, is a 2-part question worth 20 points. Ready question. Galatians chapter 4 verse 2 says, is under...
Yellow, 1.
Interruption.
Is under what? Until what? Is under tutors and governors until the time appointed of the Father?
That is correct. The test, red 1, 60 seconds.
Time.
This contest, although very good, would be denied. Although very good contest.
Time out.
Time out, right? 60 seconds. Did I say that? Well, the question would be granted. It's been a long damn time.
You're the English major. You're supposed to catch on to that. He said, would he deny? That pretty much opened it up to the fact that it's something right or wrong, right? Exactly. So, what do you...
All right, take my head. Stop.
Time.
Question. Time has been called. Question number 17 is a quotation completion question worth 20 points. Ready? Question. For brethren.
Yellow, 1.
Interruption.
For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another.
That is correct.
That's 6 for Elizabeth.
That's 6 correct for Elizabeth. Give Elizabeth a hand. Question number. Oh, contest. I'm sorry. Contest. Red 2. 60 seconds. Nothing. This contest is denied.
That's still 6 for you.
All right, that's still 6 correct for Elizabeth. Question number 18 is a 20-point question. Ready? Question. Voice.
Red 1.
Interruption.
Locate the only verse of study that contains this information. Galatians chapter 4, verse 20.
That is correct.
That's 6 for Eden.
Let's give her a hand. All right, this quiz is closed. Let's give both teams a hand. We have the results momentarily. We can have Newark number 2 on the red and Lancaster on the yellow, please. All right, the results of the preceding quiz. The overtime. The second highest scoring team was Zanesville. Let's give Zanesville a hand. The highest scoring team was Yorktown Heights. Let's give Yorktown a hand. The second highest scoring quizzer was Eden with 105 points. Let's give Eden a hand. The highest scoring quizzer. The highest scoring quizzer with 140 points was Elizabeth. Let's give Elizabeth a hand. I do need another official at the judges' table, please. No takers, seriously? No takers at the judges' table? I promise we don't bite. Sister, seriously?
I can't touch this one. I can't do this.
You'd rather not? Okay, fair enough. All right, so I need another judge or somebody. I promise you're not going to condemn anybody either way, so you're safe from the words of Jesus. I just need somebody. Well, we need a break anyway. Well, I swear you disappeared for a moment. So, contemplate it, somebody. If not, we will run with one. Good job. Somehow there is a difference.
All right. David, Jordan, and Jordan. All right. Where it ought to be.
All right. So we have Newark 2 on the red and Lancaster on the yellow. This quiz is now open. Question number 1 is a 10-point question. Ready? Question. Who does Galatians chapter 3 verse 12 say shall live?
Yellow 2.
Interruption.
By faith. Peter.
That is incorrect. In this interrupted question,
Time.
we reread to the red team without interruption.
Wait. Oh.
Ready? Question. Who does Galatians chapter 3 verse 12 say shall live in them?
Red 2.
The man that doeth them shall live in them.
That is correct. Question number 2 is a 10-point question. Ready? Question. Locate this verse. I am afraid.
Red 1.
Interruption.
I am afraid of you, lest I have bestowed upon you labor in vain. Galatians chapter 4, verse 11.
That is correct. Question number 3 is a 10-point question. Ready? Question. According to Galatians chapter 5, verse 17, what lusteth?
Yellow 1.
Interruption.
Against the spirit, the flesh.
That is correct. Question number 4 is a 10-point question. Ready? Question. Galatians chapter 2, verse 15 speaks of Jews.
Yellow 2.
Interruption.
What religion?
That is incorrect, and this interrupted question will be reread to the red team without interruption. Ready? Question. Galatians chapter 2, verse 15 speaks of Jews by what?
Red 2.
Jews by nature.
That is correct. Question number 5 is a 10-point question. Ready? Question. Galatians chapter 3, verse 5 mentions the works.
Yellow 1.
Interruption.
Works of what? Of the law?
That is correct. Question number 6 is a 10-point question. Ready? Question. Galatians chapter 4, verse 16 says, because I tell you...
Red 1.
Because I tell you what? The truth?
That is correct.
Josh,
Yes.
you didn't mark that one. Did Abraham mark
Yes.
it? All right.
Oh, question number 6? Yeah, I was interrupted.
Okay.
Oh, I hit the button.
But he did it.
Yay me. Question number 7. Question number 7 is a 20-point question. Ready? Question. Who, according to Galatians chapter 3, verse 27, have put...
Yellow 1.
Interruption.
On what? For as many of you as have been baptized into Christ have put on Christ?
That is incorrect, and this interrupted question will be reread to the red team without interruption. Ready? Question. Who, according to Galatians chapter 3, verse 27, have put on Christ?
Red 2.
For as many of you as have been baptized in Christ have put on Christ.
That is correct.
Contest.
Contest yellow 1, 60 seconds. test has been withdrawn. Question number 8 is a quotation completion question worth 20 points. Ready? Question. Then after...
Red, 1.
Interruption.
Then after 3 years, I went up to Jerusalem to see Peter and abode with him 15 days.
That is correct. Question number 9 is a two-part question worth 20 points. Ready? Question. According to Galatians chapter 2, verse 13, who dissembled likewise?
Yellow, 3.
Interruption.
With him. And so much that who was carried away with the insinuation? And neither Jesus assembled likewise with him, insomuch that Barnabas also was carried away.
Time.
That is correct. Question number 10 is a 20-point question. Ready? Question. Galatians chapter 3, verse 22 states the scripture...
Yellow, 1.
Interruption.
have concluded all under sin. Why? That the promise by faith of Jesus Christ might be given to them that believe?
That is correct. Question number 11 is a two-part question worth 20 points. Ready? Question. Galatians chapter 2, verse 8 speaks of he that wrought effectually.
Red, 1.
Interruption.
For he that wrought effectually in who? To the what? For he that wrought effectually in Peter, to the apostleship of the circumcision?
Time.
That is correct.
Timeout, please.
Timeout yellow, 60 seconds. All that hot air.
There was a lot of energy in there.
Time.
Time has been called. Question number 12 is a 20-point question. Ready? Question. Locate this verse. Now I
Yellow, 1.
Interruption.
Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differeth nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all. Galatians 4, verse 1.
say. That is correct. Question number 13 is a three-part question worth 30 points. Ready? Question. Who, according to Galatians chapter 2, verse 3, being what was...
Yellow, 3.
Interruption.
Compelled to be what?
Time.
That is incorrect, and this interrupted three-part question will be reread to the red team without interruption. Question. Who, according to Galatians chapter 2, verse 3, being what, was compelled to be what?
Red 2.
But neither Titus, who was with me, being a Greek, was compelled to be circumcised.
That is correct. Time out. Yellow, 60 seconds. Time has been called.
You're on question 7?
No, we're not on question 7. Thank you.
I'm letting you know you're on question 7.
We're on question 14.
So why does it say 15? Oh, there it is.
Thank you.
Don't ask me how to operate that thing. Question number 14. Time's been called, by the way. Question number 14 is a quotation question worth 30 points. Ready? Question. Immediately.
Red 2.
Interruption.
Quote the only verse of our study that contains this information. To reveal his son in me, that I might preach him among the heathen, immediately I confer not with flesh and blood.
That is correct. Question number 15 is a two-part cross-reference question worth 30 points. Ready? Question. How many verses of study contain the word free woman, and what are these verses?
Yellow 2.
There are 2 verses, and there are Galatians chapter 4, verse 20, and Galatians chapter 4, verse 21.
That is incorrect. And this quiz is closed. Let's give both teams a hand. We have the results momentarily. If I could have Newark take their place, if I could have Yorktown Heights take their place on the red, and Newark 2 take their place on the yellow, please.
All right. Now I have. Oh, yes.
Oh, you can't get it already, Mark Davis.
It's fine when I'm starting to the last one. So get this.
All right, the results of the preceding quiz are as follows. The second highest scoring team was Lancaster. Let's give them a hand. The highest scoring team was Newark. Let's give them a hand. You all do recall, as the further the night wears on, the smaller the hand claps because the audience isn't here. They all went home. The second highest scoring individual was
Kendall with 60 points. All
right, Kendall, 60 points. Was Kaylee with 100 points. Let's give Kaylee and Kendall a hand. There you go. Congratulations. There you go. All right, congratulations to Yorktown Heights and Newark 2. And for everyone else who's out here, to the very end, person endorsed to the end. The winner of this will be undefeated for round 1 and guaranteed no less than second place. The team who does not win is guaranteed no less than third. Okay? So congratulations to both teams. All right. And this quiz is open. Question number 1 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 4 verse 27 says, rejoice whom?
Red 2.
For it is written, rejoice thou barren that bearest not, break forth and cry, thou that travailest not, for the desolate has many more children than she which hath an husband.
That will be a 5-point foul assessed to yellow 2. Red 2 was identified, so red 2 will be read the question to completion, and you will then have 30 seconds to complete your answer. Okay. Galatians chapter 4 verse 27 says, rejoice whom?
Time.
Go ahead. 30 seconds starts now.
Rejoice, thou barren that bearest not.
That is correct. Question number 2 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 2 verse 16 states, we might be justified by what?
Red 2.
Faith. Which worketh by love.
Time.
That is incorrect. Question number 3 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 1 verse 18 mentions 15 what?
Yellow 1.
15 days.
That is correct. Question number 4 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 3 verse 4 asks, have ye suffered what?
Yellow 1.
Have ye suffered so many things in vain, if it be yet in vain?
That is correct. Question number 5 is a 10-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 1 verse 15 mentions my mother's what?
Yellow 2.
My mother's womb.
That is correct. Question number 6 is a 10-point question. Ready question. It's a quotation question. Ready question. Quote Galatians chapter 4 verse 10.
Yellow 2.
Ye observe days and months and times and years.
That is correct. Question number 7 is a 2-part 20-point question. Question. I, according to Galatians chapter 2 verse 19, am dead to what?
Red 1.
Interruption.
That I may live unto whom? I, through the law, am dead to the law that I may live unto God.
That is correct. Question number 8 is a 20-point question. Ready question. Galatians chapter 4 verse 18 says, not only...
Red 1.
Interruption.
Not only when I am present with you.
That is correct. Question number 9 is a quotation completion question worth 20 points. Ready question. Which is not...
Yellow 1.
Interruption.
Which is not another, but there be some that trouble you and would pervert the gospel of Christ.
That is correct. Question number 10 is a 2-part question worth 20 points. Ready question. When does Galatians chapter 2 verse 1 say...
Red 1.
Interruption.
I went up where? Then 14 years after I went up again to Jerusalem.
That is correct. Question number 11 is a quotation question worth 20 points. Ready question. Quote Galatians chapter 4 verse 14.
Red 1.
And my temptation which was in my flesh, Ye despised not, nor rejected, but received me as an angel of God, even as Christ Jesus.
That is correct. Question number 12 is Question number 12 is a 20-point question. Ready question. According to Galatians chapter 4, verse 20.
Red 1.
Interruption.
I desire to be present with you now and to change my voice. Why? For I stand in doubt of you.
That is correct. Time out, yellow, 60 seconds.
Time.
Time has been called. Question number 13 is a two-part cross-reference question worth 30 points. Ready question. Churches.
Red 1.
Interruption.
How many verses of study contain this information and what are they? 2 verses, Galatians 1 verse 2, Galatians 1 verse 22.
That is correct.
She's quizzed out.
And that's 6 correct for Elizabeth. Question number 14 is a quotation question worth 30 points. Ready question. Removed.
Yellow 1.
Interruption.
Quote the only verse of our study that contains this information.
Time.
That is incorrect, and this interrupted quotation question will be reread to the red team without interruption. Ready question. Removed. Quote the only verse of study that contains this word.
Time.
Question number 15 is a 3-part 30-point question. Ready question. The heir, as recorded in Galatians chapter 4, verse 1, as long as he is what, differeth nothing from what, though he be what.
Yellow 1.
The heir, as long as he is a child, differeth nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all.
That is correct. And this quiz is closed. Let's give both teams a hand. We'll have the results momentarily. And that concludes round 1. Thank you for all that are here remaining. Congratulations to Yorktown Heights for being undefeated in round 1. And to Newark finishing election third.
You have nice handwriting.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
As
thank
the
you.
artist and all that. Do you have nice handwriting?
Some people tell me I do.
I don't know that I do.
Pardon me.
Removed was, 1 second.